back. It's me, Brittany Hislop with Here, Let Me Help You. Okay, one of these has to be good. If not, I'm literally gonna die. Okay, bye. You gotta keep it down, honey. We're live. You guys, we're live.
Coming at you live.
Get it together.
Oh, shh.
We're here.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Welcome. We made it. We made it. It's a
Cheers.
Wednesday. Is it a Wednesday?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
early.
Wasted Wednesday.
It's not Friday. Cheers.
Coffee Wednesday.
Hump day.
Wine Wednesday for us.
Welcome to Here, Let Me Help You. We're back. We back, and we got a special guest this week, okay, friends? Her name is Beccah.
Sup?
Bex.
Bex.
Whatever you prefer. I have a lot of nicknames.
Our girl. We're just getting started here. I need to drink some wine. But we're going to get into it in 1 second here.
Yep. Just warming up.
We're just warming up. I've got a lightning crotch.
Oh, no.
Bad
Oh,
time
no.
for me to drink wine. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no or oh, yeah. Which, I mean.
Well, I got my dino dick.
What do I have over here?
It's Brontosaurus.
8-ball elbow.
Like.
8-ball elbow.
Oh, God. 8-ball elbow. Lightning crotch.
And dino dick. Reporting for duty. Here, let me help
What
you.
an intro.
What
Today,
an intro.
we'll be learning about...
grief, actually.
Never would have guessed that one.
That was about dino dicks.
Oh, no.
Hey, we can segue into that
We
part.
need to segue into maybe that at the
I
end.
got good segues.
You do?
No.
Okay. Anywho, welcome, Beccah. We're so happy to have you here. She's here for a special reason,
In our bed.
actually. In our bed. I like it.
Yeah.
I know.
Anyways, I like guests in our bed. But
What?
it doesn't happen often except for during this podcast. Just making that clear. Anywho, we're here with Beccah today to talk about a very special topic to all of us, but very much so, I think, hers, which is grief. And I thought about having this conversation this week predominantly, well, it came to me for multiple reasons, but it's the holidays, right? And it's a hard time of year for a lot of people. And so I just felt like it'd be good to have an open conversation around a time where I think people may need it most. But also I don't like to talk about sadness and grief very often.
That's where I come in. That's
And
where
so-
I think
Yep.
it's something that has been on my heart for a long time since I've kind of become friends with grief. What I'd like to say, become friends or get to know her. If I give her a gender, I guess let's say she's a she. I think I'm been inspired to flip it on its head because
Right.
naturally grief fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucks. Like, I've wanted to die and be with the people I've lost. Like, I have had really dark thoughts. I've had really dark moments. But if we can have some fun with that, the only thing you can't escape in life, I mean, there's a few things you can't escape, but the number one thing you can't escape is death. You're not getting out of this alive. None of us are.
Yep.
And to take, such a scary topic and make it fun, make it funny, make it a little bit lighter, even
Yeah.
if you can't really make it fun or funny right now, depending on what stage of grief you might be in or one of your loved ones might be going through it, not knowing how to support them. It's just such a big topic that I feel like so many people, honestly, every person will experience some form of grief in their life.
Correct.
So why not? Let's make it fun. Let's figure it out. Let's talk about it. Let's
make it a
less
conversation. Yeah. I figured exactly that. Let's just talk about it, how to grieve, what grief is, how to recognize it, how to heal, how to cope, wherever the conversation kind of goes. But it's good to talk about this type of stuff. So, and Ryan's here to join us because I think it's awesome to have a male's perspective, but we all have grief. We all grieve, and he's gonna.
Yeah, everyone grieves.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're gonna bring your perspective into the conversation as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. But first, we're gonna just want to make sure he's all awake
Better
over there.
consent.
Are you awake?
Yeah.
He's given
It's
verbal
been a-
consent. We're
It's
good.
been a late
Waiting
night.
for the
It's always
coffee
late.
to kick in.
I know. I'm so sorry, babe.
Take a big slurp.
But we're gonna start with word of the week, just because that's what we always do.
Yeah.
Here we go. Merriam-Webster word of the week
I'm so bad at these.
every time is bevy.
Bevy.
Okay, so do you know what that means? Does anyone know what that means? It's a bar name, which is the only thing I know.
Yeah,
here
I'm
in
like,
Scottsdale.
with
Well, it
two
was.
V's.
I'm pretty sure it isn't even open
I think it's
anymore.
still, yeah.
Anyways. So bevy is a large group of people. So
Or
like
things.
us
Okay,
or
yeah.
things.
I've heard that before.
So a bevy is usually used in a singular form and accompanied by the word of. So
A
like
bevy of.
a bevy of new movies, for
Huh?
example. Or a bevy of grievers.
Of griefer reefers.
Griefer.
A bevy of griefer reefers.
The griefer reefers. we started a gang.
A bevy bed full of griefer
This
reefers.
all black has got me feeling like I'm in some type of gang.
Mm-hmm.
So we are called the griefer
Whiskey
reefers.
helps.
Yeah, that's literally what his shirt says.
Yeah, it helps.
If you look closely.
Right, we'll link it.
Helps you grieve.
It does. That's why I picked it up for you today, babe.
Honestly.
You
I
didn't
just
pick it-
hang-
Oh, you picked it out?
I hung it in your closet,
Costume.
and you literally.
I
put
was
it out.
wondering why it was like out.
Oh
and
wow,
about.
is this perfect?
And I was like,
perfectly hung
hey,
for me.
I need to get dressed.
It's almost like my wife
Whoa,
planned
look
this
at
out
this
or
shirt
something
just
for
like
me.
staring at me in my face.
Are you kidding me right now?
I thought maybe I got lazy
Sir.
putting away my clothes and I just kind of halfway put
Picked
it
that
there.
one.
He's like, this, you know
Yeah,
what?
I
Actually,
mean,
this is a great option.
I like
This
this
is
shirt.
perfect. This is so
He
conveniently
walks
out.
out. Oh wow, they're wearing black too.
I thought about this myself.
Except for I was kind of bummed when I put it on. I was like, shit, I don't have any whiskey.
Well, we've
Because
got
it made me want
wine.
some whiskey. Oh my god, I need to order
The stuff for
Derek's fucking old
for the
fashioned
old
ingredients.
fashioned. We got this ingredient or this.
Yeah.
Well, Becca bartends too. Not she's a multitude talent, or what is that called?
They
like
say jack of all
multifaceted,
trades,
multifaceted talent.
person.
There we
jack
go.
of all trades, master of none.
I like
I
that.
figured out like I get to like a certain level of skill in a certain area, and I'm like, cool, got it. Not really fully obsessed with this. Not gonna like die doing this.
You just need to
On to the
dabble in and
next.
get enough information that you need,
Yeah.
and then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to bartend. I don't really
There you
want
go.
to be like a master mixologist. I know how to make some.
Did
good
you
shit.
learn? So, well, I guess we'll circle back to how we met. We met at ASU.
Yeah,
Did you learn to bartend at ASU? Is that
Of
where
I
course
you
so.
learned?
did. Yeah, that was my first time.
Devils.
Yeah,
Where did you start bartending at?
El Santo.
I don't even know what that is.
I've never heard of that place.
I remember Fat.
What
You were
year?
at Fat Tuesdays, but you were cocktails every night?
Yeah, that's where I first started.
El
like,
Santo, was that
in-
on Mill?
No, that was across from Scottsdale Quarter. It was a beach club.
What year?
Oh my
Um,
God.
Fetty LeGrand. First
That's
meet,
where
was
I
that
got-
through Alex
That's where we went
Monagas?
for your birthday, and then I ended up getting arrested that afternoon.
Oh my god.
That's why I
Yes.
blacked it out. I totally remember
Yes.
now.
Okay.
El fucking Santo.
There's
babe.
some
There's some deep ties to that beach club.
Yep. It's
What
no
what
longer
year did you
open.
start? Did you
I
start
think
bartending?
This was 2012,
oh,
2013.
All
20
right.
It was like the year we graduated. Yeah, or the year
Yeah.
before we graduated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall. No, yeah, it was my birthday. So it was
Gotcha.
2013, April 2013.
We both started in this similar. So Beck and I were roommates,
Mhm.
and prior to being roommates, I don't think I knew you.
I
It was
think we
like
just met through mutual
2012.
friends at like
Just like, yeah. I tried to think back to the story and how we even ended up being roommates, and
I think
truthfully
I
was
swear.
it
Okay, I think it's Alex because
Okay.
she was on my dorm
Shout out.
floor. Shout out, Alex.
my
Love
old
you.
roommate.
So she lived on my dorm floor, and then she
remember
was
her.
your roommate
You don't know
at
At North
the
Shore.
North Shore, and then I came over to like hang out one day, and that time I met you
Yeah.
like briefly, and then we kept running into each other,
Right.
and then just built from there. I guess.
And just kind of like, yeah, we both needed roommates. I was a lonely chick.
oh my god,
And ended up moving in together, but
and then unfortunately had a very terrible roommate.
horrible.
and
Bonded
she-
over that
I
shit.
mean, yeah, at least it brought us together. We dealt with some crazy shit, and I think that deserves a whole other episode. Those stories. Because,
We will save those stories for a later date. That's a whole episode.
And there's some grief involved in that, but
There really
we
is.
can laugh about it.
But yeah, we both started kind of getting into that at the same time.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's been a long time we've been friends.
And we also threw a like historical block party that's still on YouTube.
Never forget.
Halloween block party.
I we should find that and link that.
Yeah. I have the link.
Just to remind people that we're
I
cool.
got it down. Yeah.
Because after this, they might not think we're cool.
They could never forget.
2000, what year did I meet you? Like 2012?
Yeah.
How many?
2011, 2012.
So that's like
so it's been like 12 years. Almost.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I got the math right. I wrote down 12 and I was like,
almost
is that
13,
right? Yeah.
Depending.
Almost what?
This year,
Damn,
next year,
almost
13 years.
Oh, I thought you said 18. I was like, wait, how'd that happen?
Like almost
Right,
what?
like, okay, I'm out.
How long have we been doing this episode?
I'm out of here. It's like,
I'm like 18.
they're already yapping it up. Leave me out of the conversation. No, babe. But so we truthfully met. I mean, like Ryan was coming into the picture really around the same time as us knowing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really all was the same. When I was living at that house where you met me was like the first time Beccah and I. Correct. Yes. That
you passed out on our stairs?
Yeah, I don't think you were there that night. It was a night like no one was there.
I'll sleep on the stairs.
And we had gone
next
out.
to the dog. Or the dog.
So it wasn't our dog though. We were like watching someone's dog. It was really weird. Our house, we had drifters.
Yeah.
A lot of drifters.
We just had open hearts. That's what's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of things happening in that house.
Yeah.
A lot of dogs, a lot of people.
But hey, we have a lot of stories.
But yeah, so truthfully, it all kind of came together all at the same time. And then once we left that house, we both kind of like went on our separate paths, but stayed friends. And
I would come out to Newport and visit you.
Yeah, been through some shit.
We went to Hollywood together. We did a little trip from Arizona.
Did that. Yep. We both kind of like lived in California at the same time for a little bit. I visited you while you were doing modeling. I told you, man, she does everything. She was doing modeling.
But also, you live on the way to California once you end up moving. So I would always stop in or out. I'm like, okay, like I'm driving back to Arizona. I'm driving to LA, and I would be back in. And I would always make sure I found time to stop. We
always have room for the drifters. No, I'm just kidding.
How rude! I always made time to see your ass.
I know. Thank God.
I mean, okay.
I literally need your company.
To be fair, I am a drifter. I've always been.
I love that about you.
Butterfly. Like I'm always on the go. I'm like, exactly. Wee! I mean, literally, my new career. I'm becoming a flight attendant. So, like, is anyone surprised? No.
Literally a part of your core, and that's what I love about you.
Yeah. And I'm doing it for Puppy. And shout out to Puppy. I just lost my 11-year-old dog in May. She was like my daughter. My like left leg, or she was like a limb. She was an extension of me. She traveled the world with me. I got
my dog's best friend.
Yeah, her dog's best friend. She got her dog our senior year in college when we were living together, and inspired me because I always wanted to have a puppy. And I was like, you know what, now is the time. My roommate has one. They're gonna be the same age. They're gonna grow up together. They just ran around and fuck shit.
It was so fun. Yeah,
it was so fun.
Our little doggies got raised together.
Yeah, Remy and Puppy.
Yeah, the baby.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good segue into the whole discussion on grief, right? I guess it's not been easy. I know it has not been easy. So I just recognize that, and I'm thankful that you're even here and willing to talk about this because it's been
someone's got to do it.
Right.
I think, like, honestly, I've been struggling because I want to start a podcast, and I have it all there, but like every time I go to film, I'm like, ugh, like I want to throw up, I want to scream, I want to cry, I want to like pull my hair out. But like, when I, have support from people like you don't even have to say a specific word. Like, you have just held space for me and made me feel safe and allowed me to just be, allowed me to talk about it if I want to, allowed me to not talk about it if I want to, allow me to cry, allow me to scream, allow me to, and like that, unfortunately, I think is so rare in a friend. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, that's given me the capacity to like process my grief, is having, people that allow that space for you.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, those words are so kind and I appreciate you. But like on the opposite side, I can admittedly say that dealing with people who are dealing with grief for me is very uncomfortable. It's been something I've practiced and I think I've gotten better at, and I love being around people and trying to make them feel good, right? But when someone else is not feeling good, you don't know what to say. right? Because you can't a lot of times relate. And even if you can, it's not the same experience.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to go down that competition whole thing with them. You really just want to, and you want to say the right thing, right?
But I think the problem is there's no right thing to say, and I'll outright say that. Like, even for me, who's experienced quite a deal of grief, like all of my grandparents have passed. My mom passed when I was 24. We lost Kaylee, the year we graduated in
Right.
college. Jamie passed a couple of years after
Mhm.
that. My dog passed. I still I had a close friend lose someone recently, and I was just like, what the fuck do I say? Like, I have experience and I still freeze up, I freak out, I don't know what to say because everyone's experience is
Right.
different.
Right.
So I think my biggest advice for people who, in terms of like, how do I support, what do I say, what do I not say, I think, like I said, holding that space.
Mhm.
Like, there's nothing in particular that I think you should say. I think there are some things that help to hold back on
Right.
saying, like,
Right.
what happened?
Right.
How did they die?
Sure.
I understand that's a natural response. It's a
Yeah.
natural, but in the right circumstances, like in the right,
Sure.
if
conversation comes up,
sure.
If they're willing to
Sure.
talk about it. But mainly, I think the best thing is just to be there for the person.
Mhm.
You don't even have to say anything. Like,
which almost is uncomfortable
If they
to
wanna,
do,
so
like-
uncomfy. Yeah.
but
think
they don't.
that's-
I think they just want you there,
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Just to
like
know
it.
you have someone.
even if they don't say anything. In my
Mhm.
opinion,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it. I don't think it's uncomfortable. If someone's grieving, and then you can just be there. You don't even need to talk to them, and just your
It's
presence
easier.
alone is,
right.
Mhm.
On your side of the spectrum, Ryan, a lot of times you don't even necessarily have the time to do proper grieving.
Yeah.
Right.
who?
You, if you're in the military per se, like if you were in the military,
Oh, it's quick, but it's also you also.
it's like
I mean,
you
do it
kind
with
of
it.
almost have to
those people
suppress.
there. You have like.
Do you have
the brotherhood.
counselors?
I mean, yeah, you can go see a shrink and shit, but
But seriously, do they have those
I
people
don't
there
know.
for you?
Oh yeah, you can go see a shrink.
Who did you feel like most supported by, though? Like
Just
the guys
that
around
I was
you?
around and
Because
they
with,
understood.
because they just went through
Right.
the same shit I did.
They could just
Right.
sit with you in silence, and you all were there and
you're
understood.
yeah, you can either sit there in silence, or if you're willing to grieve and talk about it, or try and process it and celebrate the life that you just lost and talk about the good times and the good memories and stuff like
Mhm.
that. All those people that are there with you can relate.
Right.
So instead
So
of
then you
them
feel
saying
safe
something,
and
Sure.
instead of them saying
It almost
something
feels like a safer space
where you're like,
Oh, I can't imagine how you feel.
like,
right.
it's better almost not to say something to it, but it's like, in that case, it's like, it doesn't matter what they say, because you're probably feeling those exact same feelings,
Sure.
because we went through the exact same scenario.
That makes sense. It's
You know what
almost
I'm
it's like a
saying?
close. It
Yeah.
almost bonds.
It's not
you
like,
more.
oh, you lost your mom. I've only met your mom twice in my life. I don't really know her
Can't
or
relate.
you. I wasn't there with you. I didn't
Sure.
experience
It's
how
way
you lost
closer.
her. I wasn't like by your side when you heard the news.
That
You know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
It's like, it's just way closer to home, and it's like that's what
Sure.
it's always misery loves company, because
Sure.
it makes it easier for you to process and deal with it if
Sure.
you talk about it with the
And
people
that's
that
good. That
Right.
it allows you to like.
Oh,
let
It
yeah.
does
all
make
out.
sense. I guess it helps you grieve almost easier that way, because it
Mhm.
feels more natural, or it doesn't feel as awkward to tell people how you're feeling, because they
get
all
it.
are feeling this. They get it.
Mhm.
It's almost harder when you feel alienated. Like
Oh
these
my God.
people want to maybe try to help me, but they don't get it.
Mhm.
I think that was my biggest challenge.
Mhm.
Was I was 24
Right.
and I was in denial. Like, when my mom was dying, she had cancer 3 times.
Sure.
And her 3rd time, she like told us, my family told us at Christmas, they're like, she had 6 months. And I was like, psh. In my head, I'm like, she's had cancer twice. She beat it twice. She'll beat it again. Right. Full
Yeah.
denial mode. They're like, this might be her last Christmas kind of thing. And I just was like, I think I just kind of pushed it away, but I don't know. I think not a lot of people can relate to that, and I don't want people to.
Yeah.
But I remember meeting a girl a few weeks after my mom died, and she like took me in her arms and she was like, "Babe, I'm so sorry." She said, "You're not going to be okay or be able to like come up for air for at least 1 year." And she said, in 3 years you'll be able to open your eyes like and like actually breathe. And she's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you kind of thing. And I think she kind of really set me on that
Like
path
raw
of like
reality.
being like, this is it, instead of like, oh, you'll be
and trying
okay.
to just pat you on the back and say, oh yeah,
like,
I'll
3
pray
years,
for
bitch.
you.
And I was just like,
yeah,
all right, cool. Like, and then I was just like, I strapped up and I was like, all right, this is gonna be a journey. And it allowed me to see it and be open and raw. And I'm someone that doesn't hold back. I feel my feelings to like almost to my detriment.
Which is a gift, because that's a whole issue in itself. And a lot of people, including myself, like to just suppress. And in my experience, what I generally do is just try to like keep on going. I just like forget. I try to just work or do anything I can to distract myself, and almost never actually have. I don't think I ever gone through an actual grieving process.
Yeah.
Until most recently.
Well, no one teaches us, right?
Right.
Like, could you think of a time when anyone taught you or talked about it?
It was kind of like, just keep it, we got to keep it moving type thing, or brush it under the rug.
It's no like
uncomfy.
shock that you just keep it rolling.
Right.
And a lot of people, do the same thing where they're just like, well, I'm going back to work.
Right. Whether, you have to, or because you feel like it's going to help you, you feel like you're doing something to make it better, and you need to acknowledge those feelings.
Yeah.
But I didn't even realize that.
It's natural to repress it. It's natural to find coping mechanisms. It's just, that's why I think it's important to kind of dive into this and think about like, what can I bring up? What can I be for people that are going through what I was going through 9.5 years ago?
Right.
It'll be 10 years in June.
Right. And I think it's important to reframe grief and the idea of grief too, because I think I found my closest connection with grief most recently with like almost losing my entire identity around my career.
Yeah.
And I had to grieve that past life, which may sound dramatic to some, but to me, it was my literal entire identity. I'm still going through the process, in my opinion. So I think it's important to reframe the idea of grief and the ideas of what, grief can be, because for some it may be one thing, and for another, something else.
Absolutely. Grief comes in so many forms.
Right.
And I don't think it's a competition on like, you might think, oh, I'm so privileged. Like me losing this life that I had planned is not that bad. But like to you, it's your whole world. It's your life. This is your life, and that matters.
Right.
And that grief, that weight, that is monumental to you. Sure. And that's worth talking about and feeling over.
And I think although it's never something that you ever want to experience, there is light, like there is good that can come out of it, or you can like heal yourself.
Absolutely. It's
through the process.
I've like complete metamorphosis, like not to say that I like would have chosen for my mom to die to make me the person I am. Obviously no one would, but it literally has changed me and made me open my eyes and see people and life in a different way, to like just really see things and appreciate the time that we have, appreciate the beauty, appreciate the little things. And I think of course there's silver lining in everything, even in the darkest moments. You
always just kind of figure out like, what can I learn from this, and reframe it, which doesn't, in my opinion, I know it's not easy, again, like, and I haven't gone through anything close to you have, so I'm like, man, I'm really trying to relate, but it's impossible. But at the same time, I feel like there's steps to the grief, right? And even no matter how big or how small, you have to realize what's happening in the inside. So I guess we should talk a little bit more about the psychology around grief. I guess I think that's important to talk about, because noticing even what the feelings are, right, might be able to help you address them.
Sure. Yeah. So I studied psychology at ASU. I majored in psychology, so this topic is quite close to me. I haven't really like dove into like a lot of research per se, but what I've learned is, so I guess like grief can also, if for people that haven't lost someone and that they love or is part of their daily life, I would like the pain I could describe to you is probably the closest to like a breakup, where you have, you know, your partner with you every day, your best friend, you're talking to them every day, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. Well, in psychology, they talk about like in your brain, literally, when you lose a loved one, or, you know, like say it's whether it's a boyfriend or your mom or your sister or someone that died, when all of a sudden they're gone, your brain works really hard to create that object permanence in your brain. And then all of a sudden it's like not there. So your brain's like working overtime to try to like figure out like why this person's not here anymore. And the pain and the association of like this memory, this smell, this color, this like location that you drove past. So your brain's like just trying to figure it out and remap, because like everything that you do, like your brain wires and reacts to it to keep you alive. So that I thought was really interesting, how it like wires, you know, to add something new to your life, like a person, and it gets like connected. And so when when you lose them, it like completely rewires it, but it goes in kind of a shock. Also, what happens like in your body and your brain, it's basically like kind of like a drug addiction. It's like going cold turkey. When you have this unconditional love from someone, say like my mother, all of a sudden this source of unconditional love is gone. And then your brain's like, oh my God, like
what's happening?
What are we going to do? We're going to die, right? Like say you're a heroin addict or smoking heroin, all of a sudden it's gone. And your body's like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So you go through withdrawal symptoms just the same way you would, you know, if you're going through like a really painful breakup, a divorce, like losing something that's part of your life permanently, that has provided love, joy, peace, positive emotions for you. All of a sudden, all of that's gone. So I find that really interesting. And, you know, I think there's a lot more to be explored. It's quite hard to study grief. Because like when grief happens, you're just like, it's a whirlwind.
And I have also learned just through like reading that like your mind and your body are separate, and you have to learn how to control you have to like learn how to control your body in order to control your mind. Which is
hard.
Almost feels impossible.
I can't eat, I can't think, I can't sleep. Like it's just, the physiological effects are really scary. Like I think the hardest part, and I think this circles back to supporting people, you know, whether you know what it's like to grieve or not, in terms of supporting people that are had a recent death. I think I couldn't even think about eating, like or cooking or anything. And so like the biggest thing was people came and brought casseroles and dropped off food and this and that, which I thought was super nice. But then, you know, a new thing that I realized, or I saw people start doing, was buying a DoorDash gift card. You know, let them choose the food for themselves. Let them like deliver it, so they don't feel like, you know, a pity, like you're
like, oh, I have to eat this now.
Or like it's, you know, the funeral happened, everyone brought the food before the funeral or just after the funeral, and like, you know,
what about 3 weeks later?
It's like
I'm still grieving.
So that's
still
why
don't feel like cooking.
Try to think about that little thing rather than sending flowers. Like, that's a good touch, but then flowers die, and then you see the flowers and they die, and you cry about it. So like just little things to support that person, to help them do things that they don't remember. Like you don't remember how to take care of yourself because you're just dying inside. So,
man,
there's so much to talk about it. Like, I mean, there's just so many.
I just keep thinking about you, babe, at the same time.
What?
Well, because like there's so many things that you can do to grieve, and there's so many things I've learned over time that can help with grieving. I mean, we can get into some of them later. Journaling. There's so many different things nowadays that you can do to try to get past the pain. But when you're actively in a heightened state of survival and like uncertainty and danger, and then you're trying to grieve, like I said, when your body can't be in the same place as your mind, I can't imagine you're actually able to grieve completely whatsoever. Like you might think you may have.
Yeah, well, I think that's why so many, you know,
health issues
get, you know, mental issues on the way out, because then when they do try to talk to people about it, those people that could relate are no longer there.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if that stuff happens, obviously in country, like, you get to grieve a little bit with your buddies, But then, you know,
Well, you got to keep it moving.
yeah, no, you just,
Yeah.
you got to go back to work like
Yeah.
hours later,
Right.
the day after.
Right. After you literally,
next
and
day.
you might have watched them
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had traumatic, like, which
pass
makes
away.
it complex.
And then it makes
Correct.
it, and then it makes it
Right.
like
Complicated grief.
real too. Cause then
Right.
you got to keep doing it and then you lose more.
Yeah.
And hope it doesn't happen to you.
And then it triggers you
Yeah.
again.
Or you kind of hope it does.
Yeah.
So you can stop losing all your friends.
Going through it over and over again.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that's why people kind of go crazy over country too. They just kind of accept it and they start doing like more dangerous things. But I would say that's more of like the younger guys that are in, you know, it's not so much the ones that are married with kids and have something to come back to.
To think
Sure.
about.
It's more like the first guys right out of high school.
Yeah, well, it can, again, it messes
You
with
know.
your psyche.
And that's quite a young age to experience that kind of traumatic stuff.
I'm just like trying to put myself in like either one of your shoes, and both are very completely different, but like I see both sides, and like I'm very much like I need to get my shit together. I'm gonna need to do everything possible, go to therapy, go to journaling, go to see probably spiritual healers, all these things. And like I could not be Ryan being like, oh, gotta put on my backpack and not shower today and go watch someone else die tomorrow.
If you actually like try and think about it, grief is a feeling, like
Yeah.
happiness, like love, like sadness. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like we all know that all humans feel those feelings. So no matter if it's, you know, your goldfish drowned and you feel grief about it, that grief probably feels the same about your whole squad getting blown up in Afghanistan.
Of course.
But when you try to talk to each other about it and you try and say that you're having the same feelings, our subconscious, the person that lost a goldfish is going to be like, well, I don't want to fucking say anything to this guy. And then the guy who went through that is not going to be like, you're sad about your fucking goldfish. You know what I mean? It's just like,
it just doesn't land.
It's hard to, it's so important to just be there, I guess, for people that are grieving,
but also learn how to cope on your own without having to feel like this codependency on someone else getting you through that hard time or that grief.
Yeah, I think like, you know, a good segue is into once you're past the like absolute shock, like can't move, can't eat, nervous system regulation. Like what has worked for me, what helps me is nervous system regulation techniques like dunking your face in ice, doing an ice bath, taking a cold shower, putting ice on your wrist.
Right.
What I do is I listen to sleep affirmations. There's a couple YouTube channels, 8-hour tracks you listen to. You know, things, and we have some affirmations
we'll
that I
link
have
all of
listed.
them. We'll link them. I did the same thing. I learned affirmations were huge for me because again, you're rewiring your brain to think something differently, and your brain is a powerful freaking thing, man.
And also, you're not the same person that you were when you lost that person. So why not? You know, like you're rewiring your brain to adapt without this person in your life, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a death, whether it's a job that you lost.
Right.
It's all you're adapting to
what's
grieving
happening.
What you thought was inevitable. And you know, why not support yourself in that journey?
Add some tools. I mean, your body's doing things while you're grieving for a reason, like because your brain needs to start to rewire and regather and reset itself, and not be wasting any energy on anything else. And so it's all doing what it needs to do, and you just need to give your body that grace and that little extra like help, right, to get it across, because like you
grief line.
Because
across the grief
really
line.
Like there's not much you can't
like
come back for or can't come back from. Sorry. I truly believe that.
I talk to any human being on this planet and like seriously and deeply, in 5 minutes you'll hear the most egregious stories you've ever heard in your life. And it doesn't take long to find something evil that has happened to every single person.
That's why you should always be kind, always lend a smile, lend a hand. You have no idea what people are going through.
The resilience some people have is just amazing.
And usually the people that are the happiest, that are the smiling, that are helping people the most, are the ones that are suffering the most. Like Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
He's my biggest, like, I just look and I'm like, whoa, like.
Yep. And that's why I think it's huge to leave people. And we are not like, again, we're not like clinically trained, but I do think through all three of us, we've come up with or compiled different ways that have helped us. And I'll try again to leave as many as we can, because there are so many ways that you can navigate it, and there's no right way. I don't think you have to go to therapy. I really don't. I think you can navigate it on your own if
it
you
helps some people,
some people
it doesn't.
right, you need right.
EMDR though, I want to give a shout out to EMDR therapy. Please Google it. It changed my life.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with PTSD, which might seem kind of silly. Like I feel really like kind of dumb saying
Dramatic.
that as like a white girl. Like I was like a privileged white girl. Like I had a
Yeah.
pretty good upbringing. Like, you know, but I've experienced some things like that I was really difficult to see. And EMDR changed my life. I was able to process my trauma, and I look back at, I've only done it for one situation, but I look back on that and I literally just like, whatever.
I've
And
heard
it's
multiple
crazy.
friends who have had sessions with people that have done it and they loved it. I have looked into a little bit. Even there's podcast episodes that you can do. I've done it on my own. The tapping is really, it's all about presence, right? Staying connected to that physical body, really connecting, like you said, nerve stimulation, the vagus nerve, breathing, meditation,
just coming back,
journaling, reflecting, grounding, just connecting with the earth, looking at the bird, like listening
touching
to the
grass,
birds,
like
touching
as
the grass.
simple as literally going outside.
So is that like things that you do while you try and think of those situations that brought you great grief to get over them?
So these are going to be
kind of like trying to keep yourself from like having an out of body experience and reliving that grief.
That's a good question.
And keeping it like you present, like you guys are talking about tapping.
Oh, I see.
The grass for these EMDR meditations.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the whole like concept or point of doing that is, like you said, to like keep you aware that you're here now in your body and things are okay, instead of your mind some rabbit hole of reliving that grief and like feeling like you're actually there to where it like consumes you again and now you're back in it.
I think a lot of those things, like grounding, like the term grounding, and what I learned from my therapist, grounding is like you do your 5 senses. Like what do you see?
Right.
What can you smell? What can you feel? What can you taste? What can you sense? And so those are grounding exercises. They take you out of your mind when you're having a panic attack, when you're having anxiety, when you're dealing with something that's too like mental and not like, so it brings you back into your body.
Right.
But when it comes to nervous system regulation, there's a whole spread of things. EMDR in particular has to deal with bilateral stimulation. So what bilateral stimulation does is it allows you to process traumatic things in your memory and in your brain without feeling them to the full extent that they normally would.
Exactly. Okay, instead of like reliving back in that depression dark.
The tapping is supposed to keep you. It's like supposed to help you rewire the pathways and strengthen them. Right. It's supposed to tie them together. And so it keeps you kind of like in this.
So you don't like dive too left or too right.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I got you.
So it's, there's a lot of science behind it.
There is. And the different sounds, frequency wavelengths, like binaural
That's what I said. That's what I said without all the big science words or whatever.
It's very overwhelming. And when I started diving into this stuff, I was like, what in the hell is all this
the experience
stuff?
And get thrown back into hell,
Right. And to an average everyday person, including myself, when I first started this, at first I'm like, these are way too big of words. There's way too many options. I don't know where to begin. And then once you begin, there's about 50 ways to do it. And it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But when I just started trying everything.
Yeah.
My best suggestion.
See what works for you.
Yeah.
Try them all.
Because there's some stuff I freaking hate. Like I can tell you that. Like
I cannot cold plunge. I can cold plunge.
I want a cold plunge.
But I cannot do a cold shower at the end of my shower. I love a hot shower. I will not do it.
Cold does not make me happy. It doesn't bring me back to awareness. It gives me stress and bad feelings.
And everyone's different. Like I love an ice cube on my wrist.
Just
I love
give you awareness.
ice space. Like
break you up,
an
bring
ice
you presence.
bath.
Yeah.
But do what works for you. If it doesn't work, toss it.
I like
That's why
ice
there's
cold water.
List.
Right. There's a whole list. Cold water. Brian's
I don't like room
by
temp
drinking
water.
cold water.
I fucking hate
men are simple
water.
creatures.
Simple
creatures.
I love you, babe.
It's so simple.
I do think there is something to the whole process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And I think give yourself so much time and grace.
Also, somatic exercises is something that I discovered the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like they say you store your a lot of grief and pain in your hips and trauma in your hips. So they say to shake your booty a lot of times when you're in Pilates or yoga, you're doing a
So
deep
what do
stretch
men
and you
do?
want to cry. You're like,
Work out.
no,
Shake their
men
booty?
too. Men too.
No,
You
work
start in
out.
your hips. Yeah.
A lot of times it depends on what your
Squats.
body
I know, I
needs,
need to
but
work on
sometimes
that.
your
I need to
body
squat.
needs to
You need
just
to
move and get
stretch.
that anxious energy or
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
out.
Stretching is something I need to do.
Stretch
Look
is
at that though. I can touch
big.
my toes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh, I'm
like,
shaking.
well, they say like the body keeps the score, right? Joe
Right.
Dispenza.
Yes, that's
Dive
very
into
true.
that rabbit hole. We'll link him as well.
Yeah.
I think
So
he
old.
is like legendary. I learned a lot from
It
his
does,
teachings.
yeah. We have between the two of us, I think we have so many things that we can
A wealth of
at least
knowledge.
pass on. And I think we'll be back. We should do a couple more episodes. We
We'd
have
love
so
to.
many things. I'm ready to get crazy.
I
don't care that people think I'm crazy anymore. Ryan, I'm just
We
so
are
happy that
crazy,
you're
but in
here
the
and
best
you're
way.
able to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
It's a great
Everyone feels grief.
great thing
It's
to
easy
bring a male's
contribute.
perspective into something that is very taboo, especially I think for males to speak about.
What,
They don't,
grief?
yeah, being sad or having grieving or
Emotions in general.
Everyone's
emotions.
sad.
Yeah, but babe, I think that right now you're doing a great job and
Yes.
breaking a stereotypical thing that a lot of people don't like to
downplay
talk
yourself,
about. Don't
Ryan.
right.
Because
That's
I
right,
think,
man. You hear that out there?
Hey.
Breaking the glass ceiling out
And we
here
love you for that.
us men.
And you don't have to
We
be a
appreciate
softy little man to do it. I just think it's important
it
to
takes
just
it's strong, man, to be vulnerable
Correct.
and cry and talk about his emotions. So
Oh, I
we
don't.
appreciate
and
you.
if
I'm
you
not
don't
very vulnerable.
acknowledge those emotions,
Okay, stop that. We're
Yeah,
not
come
we're not
on.
gonna allow that around here.
Right.
Stop downplaying
Oh,
yourself.
no, I'm not.
no.
Okay, good.
Babe, am I vulnerable?
Vulnerable, yes, but you do
That's
downplay.
good.
He is
Vulnerability is good. It's
he is one of those
strong.
guys who's always talking bad about himself, and so
Don't we all?
Oh.
We just that's why you got to support each other and
right,
just make sure we're
love each
echoing
other,
love back.
support.
I
right?
just talk about myself as the average.
Okay, well we're not gonna allow that any longer.
right.
Come on, that's
Not around
good.
here. No, the griever
It's
reefers.
better than being
the
below
griefer
average.
The reefer griefers.
Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely not.
Or else you're gonna get
Being
kicked out of the
below
band.
average is better
That's
than
right.
You're gonna get
average.
kicked out of the gang.
gang.
You have to be
Uh,
above average, and
that's
you
right.
already are.
I created the gang.
Oh shit. What do we
Okay,
do now?
let's
Do
calm
we
down.
rewrite the rules?
Look,
I
I got
do-
the captain shirt.
Let's plug your Instagram.
calm
Where
down.
can we find you at? Becca Grief
yes.
Bestie.
So my Instagram and TikTok and YouTube handle is at Your Grief Bestie,
That's right.
and I will be
Follow her.
throwing some knowledge at you,
She
throwing
spreads
some
wisdom.
uncensored grief, throwing some love, throwing some.
And let's
nervous
push her to
system
start that
regulation.
podcast. This is the pressure, gang.
Yeah, like
Come
comment,
at her
and
in the
subscribe on this stuff.
comments. Like, comment, and subscribe on our stuff first, but then also her stuff, of course, because we
Yeah,
love her
yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
get it
Thanks
going.
for coming.
Thank you so
I'd
much
say
for
we'll
having
do
me.
football picks, but I don't think that we should trust Becca, babe. And it's only Wednesday.
There's a game
It's a good day,
tomorrow.
you're right,
We can make
Thursday.
it a 16
Should we-
pick parlay.
Why don't you do it without my input? I'll just watch. I'm not a football.
Or we
girly.
can
I
get
just
really
like to watch.
crazy and see what happens if we just let you pick.
I am quite lucky.
That's
I
what
am
I'm
a
saying.
McCarthy.
I felt like you were going to be like,
I'm
I don't
gonna
want to
lose
do
another
that.
$10. That's what I know.
Okay, why
What-
don't you just let me?
Oh
I'll
my
give you
God,
the
though.
$10.
What if you don't?
I mean, that'd be dope.
That would be
so dope.
insane. I hope this episode goes viral if that's the case.
But
That would be amazing.
Let's just try it out.
Yeah, you never
The
know.
episode's long enough, but I like to just make sure that we got enough. So we'll try.
Alright.
We'll leave it in just in case.
we're
Even
doing,
if we don't leave it in the episode, we'll have this as proof. If we do bet and win, I'm gonna be like,
She's
I'll
our
leak
lucky.
it. I'll be like, dude, watch
She's
this
our
shit.
lucky charm.
oh
Yeah.
man,
Do you have to get everyone right?
yeah,
Yes,
And
because
it's about
it's
to be 16
so
pick
it's
parlay.
like a parlay. So which means that every
Yeah.
single one has to be right.
I
Do you
hope
trust
you're
me?
really fucking lucky.
Do you trust me?
Yeah, it's $10. I don't care. All
I'll
right,
give you your $10 back.
Commanders or Eagles?
Do you know who they came?
Eagles.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not asking any questions from now on. Let's do this.
Packers, Bears,
Packers,
Vikings, Titans,
Vikings. I'm going off gut only.
I love it.
Jags, Lions.
Jags. They're all bad.
No, it's okay. It could be
I'm just
upset week,
kidding.
babe. It could be upset week.
Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers,
Oh,
Steelers,
Raiders, Dolphins,
Raiders.
Rams, Patriots.
Fuck, I wanted to say Rams, but I think it's Patriots.
So which one?
Patriots.
All right. Colts, Jets,
Jets.
Jets. Browns, Saints.
Browns.
I held a gun to her head. I was like,
he's gonna kill me. Otherwise,
Don't
I know he's gonna get my head
dare,
cut off.
Seahawks, Niners.
Niners.
That's right. You may stay.
I'm not gonna get killed on those last two. It doesn't matter what my
Then
gut said there.
we will be grieving Becca
my
next
survival
episode.
instinct
I'm about to
cut
make you fucking grieve your decision.
This will no longer be a bevy, friends.
That's it. Throw this episode in the trash.
Trash it.
She's
We
done.
killed her.
Hide her in the bed.
Okay, we gotta
got
stop.
really dark.
This has got to be on YouTube.
Dark like our
We're-
outfits.
We're gonna get canceled. Dark like our outfits. The griefer reefers. Okay, back to picks.
Falcons, Broncos,
Falcons.
Chief Keefs, or Buffalo Bills.
So the
Yeah, we're gonna go with the cheese,
Yeah.
baby.
yeah, they almost lost last
Oof.
week.
Really?
Man, they're gonna go 9-0.
I mean, they've been killing it for the last 10 years.
Dang, that'd be
Yeah, they're the new
Literally.
fucking Tom Brady
Yeah.
Patriots team.
It'd be stupid for me not to pick them. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll do
Bengals,
it.
Chargers.
Let's go with the Bengals.
fucking Joe, dude. Win the game, bro. For real. I'm gonna be so pissed.
Wait,
Is that Monday night?
Monday, November 18th. Here we go. Texans, Cowboys.
Texans. Fuck the Cowboys.
Thank you.
I'm
Right.
sorry, but fuck
Even
the
Dak
Cowboys.
Prescott hates his own team.
Okay, that's 14 games.
He literally there's a video of him on Instagram going, "We fucking suck." It's the quarterback
way.
of his own.
No way.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, like,
What's the odds?
Are they really
Okay.
bad?
So $10.
So hey,
Oh, no.
if we win, I'll give you half of the earnings.
Is it good?
I mean, we're not gonna win.
Listen to
That
this.
means
So,
all-
so $10 will win us. How much, Ryan?
but- oh
give
no,
us the-
hold on.
Give us the goods. $10
Here we go.
Ruh-roh.
Oh my god.
will
This is-
win.
You want
This
to bet
doesn't
$1?
sound good.
We should bet $1,
Is it that
and
bad?
I'll still give you
Is
half.
my gut that bad?
I'll still give you half.
How much?
$10 will win us $226,512.83.
That means it's that bad of odds.
yeah, it means like there's no way I'm gonna win
Like, yeah,
unless
my
they
God.
want to pay me $250,000
I'm
dollars.
dead right now.
Okay, so should we reset?
So should I bet
What's it-
$1?
How much will that win us?
22,000.
That's
$1.
crazy. Or just redo it with you guys, and then we'll refilm it, and we have extra
No, are you
content.
kidding me?
No,
What if
this
you're
is
right?
great. That would be insane, Becca.
Do whatever you want.
We for $1 we
I
win
don't know.
$22,000. Yeah, just bet $1.
yeah, that'd be insane.
Bet $1.
But I kind of
Yeah.
want 200 and
But then I'm
Okay,
only gonna have.
can you do
19
$5?
left.
What about
Yeah.
5?
no, because we're gonna split with Becca. We're only gonna have 10. And after taxes,
Wait.
we're only gonna have like 7.
Come on.
Oh, I put.
I'm greedy. No. I make
enough.
no money off this
Fair enough,
podcast.
fair enough.
DraftKings,
Five-
sponsor us.
Yeah.
$5. is
DraftKings, we use you every single week to make these shitty
DraftKings,
bets.
look it up.
Sponsor
Send
us.
some merch at least.
This video brought to you by DraftKings.
Money
We're doing
back.
10.
$10.
Yeah, we're doing 10.
If we win $200,000 this week,
Oh my
Becca,
god, you want to do the
we're
remaining
gonna take
20?
a couple weeks off and go on a vacation.
You wanna do the
Yeah,
remaining
yeah.
20?
We'll pot on the vacation.
Should I do 20?
No.
Nah,
Don't get too
let's
crazy.
not
You don't
get
wanna
too
get
excited
500
about
grand?
gambling.
Well,
Babe.
it's the same odds.
Babe.
It's just we win more money.
Let's not get too crazy. $20 is like kind of a lot. I gotta eat.
What, a McDonald's
Once again,
meal?
I'll send you
we
another-
don't
I'll send you
make
the other
any
10.
money off this podcast.
Yes.
No ads.
Stop saying that.
I'm sorry.
This episode brought to you by DraftKings.
And McDonald's.
Should we watch
Nasty.
Floor so we can figure out?
Oh my
all
god, the floor. If
All
you
right,
guys
what's
haven't been
10?
watching the floor, please go watch that. It is
$10.
such a good show.
All right,
$10
locked
bucks.
in. 10
Locked
bucks.
it in, locked and loaded.
We're about to win a quarter
We're
of
about
$1
to
million.
be quarter millionaires. On
Tune
Sunday.
in next week.
Now you're about to be invested. On Sunday, you're literally about to be so excited to watch your
Yeah,
picks.
I'm
I'll
like-
send them to you.
Yeah.
Tune in next week when we're live from Fiji interviewing
Yeah,
fucking
When
Bill
we're in
Gates.
Bali next week.
Like-
You know why? Though there, you
Just
might
kidding, we're
not
not
know
doing
if
that.
we won, but there will be signs.
There will be signs, without a doubt. There
If
will
there's
not be a
beach
podcast
behind
episode
us,
next
here's
week.
your
Like the
sign.
It
week
is not
after.
a green screen.
Or we have our headphones on the
Babe,
beach.
We gotta get a green screen.
I know. Because
No, I'm just kidding.
I
Okay,
love
we
you.
can figure that out.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
All right,
Bex.
thanks for having me.
It's been fun.
See you soon.
Bye.